everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of the Misfits collection by Super 7. Now I'm a huge Misfits fan. I've been a Misfits fan since, as long as I can remember. They were one of my top 5 favorite bands. And I like both eras of the Misfits. I know some people have problems with the Graves era, but I like both eras. But the original Misfits will always be my favorite. Now with this set, you got 2 of the main band members and the Fiend. So you got Jerry Only, Glenn Danzig, and the Fiend. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to look at them, on the card backs first, then each figure individually. So with all that being said, first off, I want to thank everybody who has subscribed. You're very much appreciated. And for any of you who haven't subscribed yet and you do like this video, then I please ask that you subscribe and also check out my music playlist. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. So here we have all 3 of them on their card backs. All the card backs are basically the same. So you have your green exploding rocks, something similar to the Masters of the Universe. You have the original Misfits up top, the Fiend, Danzig, Skeleton, Jerry Only. So the front of these are all basically the same. They got the same style of window here, so you can see all 3 figures. Plus, it's also in a Misfit skull shape, which is pretty cool. I do like that. So we're going to bring him up front, and we're going to get the close examination with him. So like I said, you have all that. You have your age restriction. Over here in the corner here, you got Super 7. You can't really see it that well, but it is down there. Like I said, you could get a good look at that skull shape. Okay, bring them around this way. Back just a hair. You can see, there we go. You got, art up here. Destructive anti-heroes of punk, hellbound, and ready for horror. Now, I like here that they have the Die, 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 My Darling art. That has been one of my favorite pieces of Misfits art. I always like that particular piece. You have all 3 figures right here. Horror Warriors, the Misfits, Super 7. And then you got your legal underneath. So, with all that being said, let's open these guys up and see what they're about. So first we're going to look at Jerry Only. Now I'm going to start out with his points of articulation. So the head does move. You got a shoulder joint. You have a joint here at the hips. And a thigh joint. Now these figures aren't designed to have a whole lot of points of articulation. They're designed to look cool. They have that old school Masters of the Universe body build, which is really nice. The same with the points of articulation. That also matches up with the original Motu figures. So with all that being said, let's start looking into his finer details. So first we're going to look at the head sculpt. Do like the head sculpt on him. I think it does catch, the look of Jerry Only, in a little bit more of a cartoon or comic book way. But I do like the overall look to it. All right. And next up, you got his vest here. That is looking really cool. There's a really cool detail in it. Like, I like all these zippers, spikes. I like the factor that they did the inside red like how it should be. And the same is on this side. His legs, he got his iconic knee pads. And also, if you look, you also have this detail nice. And then you have the Misfits skull in there as well. I don't know how well you could see that, but it is there. I think it would have been nice if they would have hit it up with the white so it stands out more. But let's keep on going. So you have this side here. So you do have his Misfits tattoo, which is really cool. I do like that. I like the design on his arms here. That looks really neat. You come around to the back. I like the design to this. I like how you have the Misfits skull with the spinal column coming down, spikes on either side. That looks really wicked. I like the overall look to that. And you come around to this side. Pretty much the same. And back around to the front. Now the wrists don't move, but the hand is styled to work with his base, which is right here. I do like how they did the base, so you have, his iconic base with the black strap with the red inside. So that looks pretty cool. So let's see how well this works with him. All right. All right, so that goes over there pretty easily, no issues. All right, have this hand grip the neck. All right, these fingers are a little stiff. Let's see how I can work this neck in here. All right, there we go. All right, now we got that hand on the neck. Oops. Actually, I might have to move it over this way just a little bit more. Maybe have his hand connect with the neck a little bit further up. Like that. There we go. All right, that's in there. I don't even need to stand. So there you go. He has the bass and what have you. You could adjust the guitar how you need to, but for overall, I do like the overall look to this figure. So next on our list is Glenn from the Misfits. Let's look at his points of articulation as well. The same as Jerry's. So you got the head movement, shoulder. All right. Got the hip joint here. And you also got the thigh joint. All right. So now that we looked at all that, let's look at his head sculpt. So I don't know if they're trying to go with a younger Glenn with this or whether or not they use the same head sculpt that they used for the other two. But it works for him. All right. And then back around to the front. Now, his arms and chest, he has a skeletal form to it, which is really nice. I like how they did the rib pattern. You got the upper bones, and even, I'm try to see if I could get it so you can see the split in there for the forearms, which is really nice. Not a lot going on below the belt for him. It's just a basic black. You come around to this side. They did do the buckles on the side of his boots, which is pretty nice. He has bones on his hands. Nothing going on with the back. All right. The same thing with this side as well. And back around to the front. So he's an overall cool looking figure. Now he's the only one of the three that doesn't come with any accessories. Like, I'm surprised they didn't give him a microphone because the Sam Hain Danzig and the Danzig both came with microphones, but for some reason this one didn't. Seems to be the figure that they put the least amount of work in with this set. But last but not least, we do have the Fiend. Just like the other guys, he has the same points of articulation. So the head moves, shoulder joint, torso joint, and then you have a thigh joint. All right. Now the head is your iconic Crimson Ghost style head. All right, not a lot going on the sides here. You got the front. And back to that side. All right. So he has this rib cage pattern on his chest here with the Misfits Fiend Club logo on it. For any of you who don't know, the Fiend Club is basically their fan club. You pay a couple dollars a month, and then you could get like special stuff and all. I don't know if it's still going or not. I used to be a member of it back in the day, but anywho, so they have that whole setup. Nothing really spectacular is going on below the waistline for him as well. Come around here. He has a gauntlet and elbow pad on this side. Then they have this like spinal rib cage, shoulder blade set up back here, which looks kind of cool. I actually like how they did that, how it's a wraparound on the figure. And then back around to the front. Now he also comes with a staff here with the Halloween pumpkin on it, which is pretty cool. I think I would have liked to have seen the pumpkin done in an orange. I think that would look really, really cool, but they, kept it a white for, reasons, I guess. All right. Now, because he's has that basic Masters of the Universe hand grip, this should just pop in his hand pretty easily. Yeah. So, as you can see, that fits in the hand, no issues, and I'm sure it'll probably be the same thing with this other hand too. So if you want to hold it with the left hand or the right hand, it's all, preference, I guess. So it also works in this hand as well. So everything works fine with him. He's a pretty cool looking figure overall. All right, so let's get into my final thoughts with these figures. So first off, all their joints move very well. Don't have any issues with any of that. What accessories they do come with fit very well with these figures. No issues with any of that. And I think they're overall pretty good looking figures. I do like the overall look to them. Any of my issues are critiques, things that I personally would like to see, like with Jerry, I would like to see the Misfits skull on his boots, a white. I think that would make it pop a little bit more. For the Fiend, I would have liked the pumpkin to be an orange, which to me would make a little bit more sense. But, those are just minor things. And maybe even Glenn having a microphone, because I do feel like Glenn is the figure that they did less with. Like Jerry has the base, he has his vest that looks really cool and detailed. The same with the Fiend, he has the rib cage and the shoulder blades and all that makes him look extra. And Glenn pretty much has just a paint over. So I don't know if that was something between them and Glenn or whatever, but so overall, I do like the overall look to these figures. So would I recommend them? Absolutely. I would recommend this set. I like all three of these characters. Now, the one thing that I didn't say yet that is kind of a disappointment to me is I like the Fiend. I think he's cool, but I would have rather have had Doyle. Then this set would have felt a little bit more complete to me. Now, I did a little research why he wasn't part of this, and this is the official reason why. I'm not 100% sure on this, but apparently it's a rights issue. So Jerry and Glenn both own rights to the Misfits. Doyle don't have any of that. So, they can make figures of them. But apparently for them to be able to make a figure, they would need permission from either Glenn or both. And I don't see how that would have been an issue because as far as I'm aware, they're still on good terms with him. So I don't know why that would be an issue. But whatever the case is, sometimes there's things going on behind closed doors with band members that, we just don't see. So I would have rather had a Doyle instead of the Fiend, but the Fiend works just as well. And yes, once again, I would recommend this set for any Misfits fan and what have you. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, go ahead and check out my music playlist and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So until the next one, late.